Peace. What's up? What's up? It's Tuesday, the Truth Tuesday show with your host, Hakeem, here on Hindsight Radio, the information station changing the nation. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you're getting everything that you want. You're working on the things that you want consistently and not letting entertainment and other distractions keep you from your path to prosperity. Don't let procrastination, the idea I can do it later, when you're thinking about it now, that's the biggest killer. You got something to do. And this goes for everything. You got something to do. And you decide I'm gonna do it later. And later comes and did you say I'll do it later? Later. And it before you know it, days have gone by, possibly weeks or months have gone by, and you have not done that thing that you said you're going to do. Now, here's the thing. Here's the problem with that. If you can't keep your word to yourself, then you most likely won't be keeping your word to anyone else. If you cannot honor your own word to yourself, then how can you possibly be a person of your word to anyone else? And some of us do that. Some of us keep our word to other people before we keep our word to ourselves. We put other people first. And after a while, they done sucked all the life out of you, and then you don't have no energy to do what you got to do. If you ever got on a plane, they always tell you, put your vest on first before you even attempt to help anyone else. That's even your children. Take care of yourself first before you take care of others. So, take care of your business. Handle your business. Y'all know what you got to do. I don't have to remind you. You know the things you want to do. You know the things you said you were going to do. You promised yourself. Get to it. Well, this has been an interesting week. Well, it's been a good week, but interesting. What's today? Tuesday, Monday, Sunday. I'm not going to go into names and details, but didn't actually happen to me, but I experienced it, witnessed it by phone. This is what I tell you. Y'all need to get your passport. So someone I know, they got pulled over for supposedly a speeding like 5 miles over. It was like 35 miles per hour or 25 or something like that. It wasn't that much over, about 5 miles. And I told people what I do when I get pulled over. I give up my passport card. And I told y'all the story, how that went and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I did they wrote the ticket. And they eventually got all dismissed. Well, the tickets that he wrote got dismissed. And they gave me an option to take, mechanical failure, which is something not really big. And I took the option. A lot of people said I would have sold out. I should have fought that, whatever. Y'all say what y'all want. Better to have a mechanical failure issue than my insurance going up and all that other stuff. Y'all can sit there and watch those YouTube cowboys and those ghetto fab individuals on YouTube fighting with. I ain't trying to do all that. See, this is what I do. When they pull up on me, I give them the passport card. Hey, this is not a driver license. I said, well, that's all I got to give you right there. I'm not giving you anything else to incriminate myself. I don't have long, drawn-out conversations. I don't try to teach them law on the side of the road. Hey, I don't talk to the police. I invoke the fifth. I remain silent. You need to ID me. There it is. You know that I'm lawfully in this country because there it is. There's the passport card. What y'all don't understand that when people come from this other countries, here, they don't have driver's license, but they can drive on their passport. They hand their passport over, they're good to go. Did y'all know that? Yeah, just give the passport. Passport. There was an issue in Georgia where a young lady was she was here for school and she got pulled over. She gave the cop her passport book from her country, and he proceeded to arrest her. All kind of craziness, and they had a big lawsuit, and she won because you can drive here on a passport if you're from another country. Guess what? You could drive here because I do it all the time. Here it is. I got a driver's license. And when they pull a name and they see the registration, they're going to see everything. Now, in this situation, oh, well, let me finish what I do. I don't do a lot of chitter-chattering. I don't even ask them why all the questions. I don't go into all of that. They start asking, hey, I have no more to say. Here's what you need. Oh, can I get your insurance? No, this is all I have. But you got that's all I have. I have no more to say. This is an investigation. Am I under arrest? No, you're not being there. But oh, then I could go then. Oh, no, you can't. Well, then I'm not here to incriminate myself. Do y'all understand that? In any type of investigation, you have a right not to incriminate yourself. But for the sake of any issues, you want them to be able to identify you. You want that. But if you give up the DL, because that's a contract, that's the evidence they're looking for to write the ticket. So in this situation, did all of that. He took that, went to the car, spent about 10 minutes, come back. Oh, I need your address. I need you to tell me your address. And it was like, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm not giving up any information in this investigation. Oh, this is an infraction. It's not an investigation. I don't know the difference, but that's what he said. Like, no. He went ballistic. He went back to the car. He went so far as to call, I think might have been 9 or 10 more police officers just because this individual would not give up his address. Now, some of y'all would say, man, that's traumatizing. That's crazy. But I want y'all to stop and think. Stop and think. Why did he want the address? Why did he need him to give that up? I'll tell you why. Because something he saw in that computer with that passport, he couldn't do anything with that. He couldn't do anything with that. It was nothing he couldn't, because he actually said it. I needed to be able to write this. I need the address. He couldn't do nothing with it. So he needed him to give up his right to remain silent so that he can continue to write the ticket. He couldn't move forward. I believe in like states like in some states, once they start to write the ticket, they got to finish it. I was like, why is this guy so crazy about? Because I know when I got pulled over in North Carolina, he wrote a ticket, but he wrote the wrong address. The address I wasn't even living at. He put something down. See, that shows you about that. That's all about jurisdiction. See, if he really could do anything, he would just say, get out, lock them up. You don't have a job, and took them off. But he was like going all out. So eventually, individual called for the whoever was in charge to come out. The guy came out. He was polite. I got to say, the guy was polite. And, hey, we need the address. You got to have the address. Coerced him, trying to coerce him into giving up that address. I'm like, dang, what is the deal? So eventually, to keep the drama down, because it was just getting too far just for a simple traffic ticket. He did give up the address, but he did say, I'm going to give you this, but have this is bullying, and you intimidate me. You got 9 cops out of here just for this. You say, no. This is just, whatever. But when he gets the stuff back, the tickets are not even written for what he actually was pulled over for. And the guy gave him somebody else's ticket. See what I'm saying? So he's driving a car that's registered to him. So why didn't he just pull information off of that? See, they need your consent for everything they do. They need your consent. But of course, this is a very winnable situation. I'm confident that could be thrown out. That will be. Because let me start off this way. The Constitution is not the highest law of the land. It's one of the highest laws of the land. There's the Bible, number one. That's number one. Number two, treaties is number two. To that, the Constitution. That is the law of the land. And the law of the land says you have the right to remain silent, you have the right to not incriminate yourself. And the topic of tonight is you have a right to bear arms. No matter what they say. The Constitution doesn't say you have a right to bear arms, however, but this, that, and the other. It says everyone has a right to defend themselves and protect their lives and their property. You also have a right not to assist them in locking you up or giving you a ticket. That's your right. They were basically saying, oh, you got to give us this. You got to give it. No, I don't have to give you anything. Because if I have to give you something, that means that makes you my master and I'm your slave. And last I checked, slavery was abolished. Okay? All right. The Constitution says this. This is out of my Black's Laws Dictionary, 3rd edition, right here. It says this. It says the organic Constitution, the organic and fundamental law of a nation or state, which may be written or unwritten, establishing the character and conception of its government, laying their basic principles to which its internal life is to be conformed, organizing the government and regulating, distributing, and limiting the functions of its different departments and prescribing the extent and manner of the exercise of sovereign powers. Exercise of sovereign powers. A charter of government deriving its whole authority from the governed. And it has Fairhope Single Tax Corporation versus Melville. So those are case laws that they have up there. In more general sense, any fundamental or important law of edict, as the novel constitutions of Justinian and constitutions of Clarendon. In American law, the written instrument agreed upon by the people of the Union or of a particular state as the absolute rule of action and decisions for all departments. Did y'all hear that? It says absolute rule. So I could care less if they got statutes and codes and all of that. They say the Constitution is the absolute rule. What is absolute? Before I finish reading that, absolute. I know we probably all know what that means, but I always love reading these things. Anyway, you never know what you might find when you read them. It says not qualified or diminished in any way, total, viewed as existing independently and not in relation to other things, not relative or comparative. Universal, fixed, independent, non-relative, non-variable, absolutist, perfect, entire. So it's the absolute. A value or principle which is regarded as universally valid or which may be viewed without relation to other things. So So they create uh what do you call those statutes and codes and ordinances? Those are not absolute. And you know it's not absolute because they play with that whenever they feel like it. They don't play by those rules. But the other reason why it's absolute, because it's the only thing that every officer takes an oath to uphold and to defend. Uphold it means that you're going to abide by it, make sure that you make others abide by it. Defend it means you will defend that with your life if someone was to try to trample on it. But as we know, this government takes that oath carelessly. To tell you the truth, most officers would do what you call an abridged version of the Constitution when they study it. They don't study the whole Constitution. They get a little cliff notes and stuff like that. Then they take a little BS test that, like, they know, and then they swear on something. They have no idea exactly what it says. I remember I was witness to someone becoming guardian to someone, and they had them take a oath to the Constitution. Didn't ask them, did they know the Constitution? Did they even read the Constitution? I knew this person. I know they didn't know the Constitution, but they took an oath to defend something, uphold something. This is how careless they treat the Constitution. Anybody can take an oath to something. They don't even know what they're taking an oath to. So basically, a lot of these officers are running around doing things that violate the Constitution all the time, simply out of ignorance, because they don't know better. But I know who do know better. Politicians, as soon as they get into some trouble, the first thing they do is they use that Constitution. They shut up and don't say anything. I decline not to answer that. I plead the fifth. How come the people in the higher ups in the higher government you go, they use the Constitution all the time against each other? They sue each other. There's a lot of suits that go on between the state and the federal and back and forth in different departments, all based off the Constitution, not off codes and statutes. And this rule, they use the rule of law, which is the Constitution. And the second rule of law is what the Supreme Court says about a case. So we need to really know this stuff. All right. The written agreement instrument agreed upon by the people of the Union of a particular state as the absolute rule of action in decisions for all departments and offices of government in respect to all the points covered by it, which must control until it shall be changed by the authority which established it, and in opposition to which any act or ordinance of any such department or officer is null and void. Did y'all hear that? It says, and in opposition to which any act or ordinance of any such department or officer is null and void. That is Cooley Constance Lint LIM 3. I got to look that up. Read that. So it basically said in this Black's Laws Dictionary that any ordinance or act that is in contrary to the Constitution, it's null and void. So all of those people that they're taking their gun rights away because they had some type of criminal past, not constitutional. Let's read what the Constitution says about. Let's just pull up a Constitution. Let me read one I really have never read. I've read it maybe a few times. Let's see. Let me see what state comes to mind. Let's go. I've never read this over there. Ohio Constitution. Pull that up. Man, that was easy to pull up. And usually the right to bear arms is always in Article 1. So I've never really read this Constitution before. So I have to go through it. Let's share the screen. Maybe we can find it together. Okay. Let's do this. So it's the Bill of Rights. Always in the Bill of Rights. That was very easy. For those of you who might be in Ohio and y'all want to do your own research, y'all should be reading this stuff because this will affect you one day or another. Now, if you want to be one of those people that just bow down to whatever they tell y'all to do, hey, that's your choice. You can do that, but certain things I'm just not going to allow happen. I'm not gonna. I know what we can do, what I can do, and I know I can sue and make some money. All right, it's right there. Article 1, Section 4, bearing arms, right there. Let's see what it says. The people have the right to bear arms for their defense and security, but standing armies in time of peace are dangerous to liberty and should not be kept up. And the military shall be in strict subordination to the civil power. I don't see in here where it says you have the right to bear arms if you're a convicted felon. You don't have the right to bear arms. You have the right to bear arms, but if you're a convicted felon, you can't. It doesn't say that. It says specifically the people have the right to bear arms for their defense and security. Let me tell y'all something. The reason why so many of y'all who got these criminal pasts can't carry an arm, because first of all, your status is jacked up. So they're looking at you as a person. They're not looking at you as the people. It says the people. Let's go to another constitution. Let's pull another one. Let's pull another. See, words are important. Individual persons, those are all legal fictions. And if I could pull up person in this dictionary right here, and let's see what it says about a person in here. This is the 3rd edition. I'm just going off my head. I ain't know. I didn't write nothing. I didn't write anything down. Right now, I'm using my Ebonics language right now. I didn't write anything down, y'all. It's just flowing right now. So I don't know exactly what I'm gonna find when I read these things. I was looking up person, right? Well, let's read. I pulled up. Well, let's go to person first. That's what I said I would do. But I read people, and it was looking real interesting. All right, person, a man considered according to the rank he holds in society, which all right to which the place he holds entitles him, and the duties which he imposes. People versus R and Company. The term is, however, more extensive than man. Okay. It may include artificial beings as corporations. Okay. It may include, now we all know that's what, when they're using that word person, they're using artificial beings. Okay. So as long as you looked at as a person in their eyes and you have not explicitly told them who you really are by way of either doing your passport and writing out that affidavit correctly. And I'm sitting here, I got a webinar coming up on the passport again. And man, I just got a big download for that in relations to this. See, I'm always improving stuff because I know things don't stay the same. And This day and age, when people can identify as anything they want, we are not going to have any problems. This is actually, for this purposes, all of this crazy identifying this and that is really perfect for us. It's okay for us. So I ain't too mad at it. so that was person. So let's see what people say. People. The first thing it says, a state, lowercase, a state, as the people of the state of New York, a nation in its collective and political capacity, the aggregate or mass of the individuals who constitute the state. In more restricted sense, and as generally used in constitutional law, the entire body of those citizens of a state or nation who are invested with political power for political purpose, that is the qualified voters or electors. That's the people. The word people may have various significations according to the connection in which it is used. When we speak of the rights of the people or of the government of the people by law or of the people as a non-political aggregate, we mean all the inhabitants of the state or nations without the distinction as to sex, age, or otherwise. But when reference is made to the people as the repository of sovereignty or as the source of governmental power or to popular government, we are in fact speaking of that selected and limited class of citizens to whom the Constitution accords the elective franchise and the right of participation in the offices of government. Black Constitutional Law, 3rd edition. So, people as a collective is everyone, regardless of sex or race. And then when they're talking about the people, also is those elected officials. Also. So it has two definitions, but I didn't see anything in there that said anything about an artificial being. No artificial being. So people is a very important word. It's a very what man, oh man. I like that definition. I could do a lot, and it has a lot of case law to support it. Can't read all of that. Y'all need to find this 3rd edition Black's Law Addiction, or the I also have a 1st edition, but I think I got that. No, I don't have a 1st edition. I have the. Hold on, I do have. Hold on a second. Hold on. Oh, I have the 2nd edition, but I have it on CD. You know, I got the ancient form CD. So I have that. I just found that the other day. Those things are very good to have because I have a 6th edition, I got a 9th edition, and you can see how they change up stuff later on. I like to read the old stuff because that's where the truth and the real information is. So when it comes to a right to bear arms, y'all gonna have to use the Constitution, or you being prevented from having it, and you have to not stop identify as that legal fiction or the illegus. Yes, people. I like this one in the chat. It said people could be a tribe or a church. Absolutely. Remember, it's a collective. And remember, I'm showing y'all how to set up your churches. Y'all could be a nation within yourselves, a tribe, whatever you call it. And I'm gonna tell y'all, it's coming to that time where you're gonna have to get with some people of like minds. Y'all don't all have to have the same spiritual beliefs or whatever, but eventually it's gonna become so bad to purchase food out of a grocery store, because everything mostly in these grocery stores, and I'm really, really digging deep like now. Like I'm switching slowly to a raw diet, like not raw meat or anything, but raw ingredients. not so much cooked food. I'm transitioning, and right now I made like a vegan like cheese. My homemade. I made it with uh, sunflower seeds and other different ingredients to go with it. Mixed it up, made it into a paste, and it tastes delicious. Like someone I knew from almost 10 years ago. Actually, she was on my show. She was a second guest on my show when I first started Hindsight Radio. And she was into the raw food diet. She had a raw food restaurant in Columbia, South Carolina. And I remember she made this pizza, like this raw pizza, I guess. And I love pizza. That's my weakness. Pizza is the thing. I can't just eat one slice. I get one, it's gonna end up to be about 4 or 5. But it was a small round, like, and maybe a little bit bigger. Ate it, I don't know. And I ate that, and it was made out of nothing but fresh ingredients. The seed cheese, that's what it's called, seed SEED cheese with the Z on the end. Had that on it with some lettuce and some other different olives, different little vegetables on it, and I ate that. And I was full off that one little piece. When you eat food properly, you don't need a whole lot of it. Because what happens is the body knows what it needs. The reason why we keep eating more and more and more, because we're not getting the proper nutrients, and the body is constantly looking for that. But when you give your body the proper nutrients, it takes what it needs, and that's it. It don't need anymore. So I also started doing this detox drink in the morning. Celeries, specifically the recipe calls for Granny Smith apples, a half of that, cayenne pepper, a little bit of pink salt, 4 celery stalks. What's the other vegetable? Parsley, and a whole cucumber. Mix that up into a drink and drink that in the morning. And you drink 32 ounces of water, fresh water, good water, either it be spring water, distilled if you have it, before when you first get up, and then you drink that, then you move on to lunch and eat your lunch. So that's what I've been doing for the last 3 or 4 days, 3 days. And I could tell you, just with those few days of doing that, my body loves it. Still got to weed out all of the other stuff over time, the other cravings that I get. So how I kill my cravings, I keep fruit around, watermelon, and other fruits. So got to feed you right. But what I was saying is, we're gonna have to get into communities and start growing our own food, because the grocery stores is straight poison, for real. It's poison. Everything in there's got some type of poison in it. Everything. The bread is so bad now that I can't even find a bread that doesn't have soy in it. So now I got my next thing is I'm gonna have to make my own bread with my own ingredients. And I'm now that I'm like, I went and bought a food processor. Now I gotta go get my juicer because my green drink is coming out too much clumps. But I find, long as you have the proper tools, it really don't take that long to make these meals. It don't. It's not that long. Once I made the only thing that took long is I didn't have the food processor to make the seed cheese. But I'm telling you, it man. And I bought this book probably 2 years ago. Like 2 years ago. I found it and I just cracked it open. and say, you know what, I'm gonna eat this stuff. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna be deliberate about this. You know, I already don't. People say I don't look my age, but I'm trying to rewind the clock a little bit. So back to right to bear arms. You guys gonna have to use that Constitution to defend yourself and do what you call a constitutional challenge. You're gonna have to sue the federal government for infringing on your rights to bear arms. See, you're gonna have to do this on an individual level. Individual level. You're gonna have to do this. Fight for your rights individually. You see, and what they're trying to do is say, you know, AR-15s and all these is a problem. But when more people die by handguns than anything, then you know, so you're gonna have to sue to do all of that. No, you got to start with the federal, brother. Here's why you got to start with the federal, because it's the federal laws that's stopping you from getting that gun. Because when you go do the buy the gun, who do they check? The ATF. That's a federal entity. They're the ones who tell the gun shops yay or nay, not the state. When you go buy the firearm and they figure out you got it, they say, no, you can't get it. They call in the federal government to get permission to sell you a firearm. Okay? So first and foremost, you got to do the work, correct the status, get yourself out of that system looking like an illegist. You got to put them on notice. How do you do that? Passport, power of attorney. And people with these type of issues, you got to add something to your affidavit, like what the Constitution says about the right to bear arms. And you got to go to the proper court. You got to go straight to the Supreme Court. You can't go to these lower courts and expect that you're going to get remedy. You got to go to the highest court of the land, or the highest court they will allow, and then they most likely bump it up there. What time is it? 7:51. All right. Well, a lot of good things are coming. I have the webinar for the passport coming up on June 1st. I also have a webinar for the student loans coming up. Wait a minute, not June 1st. June 1st is the student loan webinar. May 31st is the passport. May 31st. We got so much going on. And I didn't realize we're coming up on a holiday this weekend. So I ain't even got nothing planned. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta do something. I ain't did nothing in a long time for myself. But anyway, I see my background, my Psalms 91. I gotta put my Lord's Prayer up there too. Did y'all remember I did the show? Was it Sunday I talked about this? Did y'all do what I asked? Did y'all get the Lord's Prayer? Read it as many times as you want. Put your intentions on it. Add the intentions in between the prayer, like you're praying, and speak it out. Don't be doing that stuff in your head. Speak it out. Put it out there. Let your voice vibrate with your intentions. That's how you do it. Put it out there. Don't be ashamed. I did this like last week. Was read it. And I saw someone said 100 times. I don't know if I did 100. I know I did a lot. And in there, I put prayers for people that I want good things to happen. Of course, I put my intentions in there. The Lord's Prayer, read that. Read that, and then add your prayer to it. And then keep going. Because what it's going to do, it's going to build up spiritual strength in you. And you're going to start to be able to visualize those things that you wanted. Yeah. So what's the name said? If you've never been to a live webinar, you got to get to one, brother. You know, I haven't done a seminar since earlier this year. It's time for me to go on my tour But the reason why I haven't gone on this tour is because I am preparing some stuff right now. So I met with some people uh over the last few days, and they're putting some stuff into place for me. It's about to be go down right now. It's about to get big. It's about to get busy. It's about to get very, very prosperous. So, like, I'm opening up the option for people to make money with me. Like, if you share my stuff, you share in the money. So I'm opening up doors for that. Sharing in the wealth. I want y'all to have know what it's like to make money without having to get up early in the morning and clock in and listen to some idiot boss tell you what to do. Aren't y'all tired of that? Getting up day in, day out, working a job simply because you have to, or you feel you have to, because you have these bills to pay. Aren't y'all tired of that? I know people come up, well, I like what I do. I like that. No, you don't. Nobody likes getting up early in the morning every day. You might like it one, maybe 2 days out of the week, but the rest of the week, you really want to stay your butt home and do other things. Figure out what you want to do with your own time. Okay? And you could do that. You could make $1,000 a day. Shouts out to Corinne. Again, she is posting content every day. She has been an inspiration to me. I said, you know what? She said she was going to do it at the beginning of the year, and she has kept her word. Every day she's putting up content. And I tell you, a lot of y'all got information y'all can share with people right now on even with the jobs y'all have now, but y'all too afraid to get out there and do it. Or whatever, y'all think y'all can't make any money at it. If people can make money pretending to be dogs, millions of dollars to pretend to be dogs, if people can make money opening up toys and playing with them, if people can make money playing video games, surely you can make money in the ideas that you have. You see? You can make money. Why aren't you making money? Why aren't you rich, as Reverend Ike would say? Why can't you do it? Know why? Because you just haven't done it. You haven't put in the time starting something. Oh, it's not working. Yes, it is working, even when you think it's not working. Long as you're persistent and you're consistent and in what you do, it will become successful. You might have to make some adjustments here and there, but to flat out just freeze and stop everything no. I got a trucking company. It's a job. It's been a challenge. I ain't giving up. Guess what? We're about to pick up our second truck. Actually, our third truck. The second truck we bought had some issues, and we going to our second truck. Yes. About to take delivery of another truck. I know people who know me be like, hey, you be talking about this and that. You're going to do another? Yes, I'm going to do another truck. Yes. This company is going to be a multi-million-dollar business. It is a multi-million-dollar business. There's no stopping me. There is no stopping me right now in anything I'm doing. Challenges have come at me this year alone. Some serious challenges came to me where I just wanted to throw my hands up. Y'all think, some of y'all really think y'all the only ones going through something. Y'all hear me doing these speeches, giving these motivational statements and all that. And y'all, he got it all together. Oh, I got to work at it just as hard as y'all do. It's the difference between me. I just been doing this show for 8 years. And I know what's happening to me. Like, I'm aware that these are all illusions coming at me to distract me, to put me back into my comfortability. See, I was comfortable with Hindsight Radio, making money, doing my thing. I was comfortable. I I didn't need that. I didn't need a trucking company. I didn't need to add to it. I didn't need to do anything else. I'm making very good living, but it wasn't the living that I could go and pass on to my grandchildren. I have two grandchildren, and my vision is to make sure they are set along with my other family. See, I'm trying to skip generations. When they get old enough, their grandfather left them something to take care of. So I got to keep moving. And I do get tired. I do get worn out. When I get off this show, I'm going to be drained. I don't want to talk to nobody. People, oh man, I want to holler at you right after this, after I do. Nah, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I'm too much spent just pouring all of this out. And honestly, I got to reserve my energy because this next phase is going to be even more intense than it was before. What is it, more money, more problems? Yes, that's it comes with responsibility. It comes with less conversation, idle conversations. I wish other people could join me and we could be talking about making money. That's the conversation I want to have. Money making ideas. Those are the conversations I want to talk about now. I'm done with all the idle chat. I did that. I'm done. If we ain't talking about moving forward or any type of progress and building together, I'm sorry. No offense. It doesn't mean I'm betting you. It's just that I don't have time to talk about it. I don't have the energy to sharing any of these idle chats. Sorry. Would you say that's right. I was going to read another constitution. Didn't I say that? I didn't. Well, somebody put the Florida Constitution. It says right to bear arms, the right of the people to keep and bear arms in defense of themselves and of the lawful authority of the state shall not be infringed, meaning it can't be infringed. So they can't even make laws against that. So all that stuff you see on TV is just propaganda, marketing to get the ignorant to just fall for it, which most people do. Because they don't read. They hear something on TV. Oh, they can do this. No, they can't. Don't you think if they could have made some tick the guns, they would have done it by now? But they can't. Know why? Here's why. There's a certain group of people that is armed more heavily than the government. The average Caucasian probably got an arsenal in his home. Okay? They ain't worried about what they call black folks, African Americans, because they done shot our kids in the street, and all we did was march. Nobody came out and did nothing. Okay? I know some fellas, some white boys, and they ain't ashamed to show you what they got. I've done when I was doing cable in South Carolina. I went in to turn on the internet for somebody. And this dude had a gun, rifles, guns from one door to the next. Handguns laying all over there. And they had small children in there. Guess what? I said, you don't worry about the kids. He said, no, I train my kids to respect guns. And it wasn't messing with them guns. Little girl was walking around there. She couldn't be no more than 5 years old. Handgun hid everywhere in hand's reach. She had a gun. My boy from New York, him and his wife, they didn't shoot. I said, if I didn't know them, I thought they was white boys. They got guns everywhere. They got the fake. I'm not gonna reveal all they little hottie. But what I'm saying is, they got guns galore. I got a decent size. It's time for me to start getting some more. I got a decent enough that I could hold the block down for a while. Another speechless victory. Thanks, Akeem. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but thank you. Um, so that's Section 8 of Florida's Constitution. Let's do one more Constitution. Let's pick one in the chat. Give me a Constitution. Let's look it up, or you look it up. Put the section in the chat. Every Constitution is basically going to say the same thing. Oh, paperwork. Okay. I don't know what paperwork you talk about. I do so much paperwork, but you're welcome. You're welcome. Uh, let me somebody give me a Constitution. What do y'all see back there? Psalms 91. While they looking up that Constitution, somebody gonna give me a Constitution to read up. Psalms 91. Y'all need to read that too. Read that too. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. He will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. And y'all know what I mean by when I talk about trust. Creating your trust. He said, oh, praise Yah. Yah says, you just gave me remedy. Hallelujah. Thank you. Somebody said California. California Constitution. Here we come. I'm on a roll. So if y'all got a Constitution y'all want me to read on, I'll read on it right now. Yeah, Constitution. California is one of them democratic states. They be making all them funny rules, declarations of rights. Let's see. They got a lot of convolution in there. The process of law. Where's the right to bear arms at? You know what I do? I do what you call Control F, BAR. Yeah. Say arms. Oh, California is strange. Okay. I gotta look at this. Declaration, all people have the free, nature, independent, unlimited. Y'all, let me show y'all what I'm looking at. This thing here. See, some of these states done sold out so bad. So when I see states with constitution like that, I will not even move there. I wouldn't live there. Which one? Yeah, there it is. Take this off. He said California. You asked for California. Here's this California. California Constitution. We're in the Declaration of Rights. Oh, here it is right there. Well, they're kind of saying it in a way. All people are by nature free and independent, have inalienable rights. Among those are enjoying, defending life, liberty, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and pursuing and obtaining safety, happiness, and privacy. But that doesn't say anything about bearing arms. They even got something about reproductive freedom. They must have just updated that. Yes, they did. There it is. Section 1 added November 8th, 2022. That's, the whole abortion thing came up. And every person freely. You know what I think they did when they did their constitutional amendment? They took out the right to bear arms. So California, y'all in trouble, bro. It's grievances. Look, they even added, oh man, California is jacked up. It says a statute, court rule, or other authority, including those in effect on the effective date of this subject, shall be broadly construed if it furthers the people's right of access. What? I, whoa. See, some of these states are slowly rewriting their constitution. They wrote this in 2022. And nowhere in here, because I did a control F to find the word bear arms, and it wasn't there. Hmm. They kept the religion. They kept religion there. Let's see what this one. When I do process of law, shoo wee. I was there. I'd move the hell out of California. It looked like they about to do a whole lockdown over there and enslave people. The way they wrote this constitution, I know some of y'all like, what do you see? If you read some of the stuff I'm skimming, I'm only skimming right now. Damn. The right to bear arms is not in here. Was it ever? I'm sure it was. I don't have time. I'm gonna have to do some research. We want to come back. We have to revisit California, but California is jacked. I'm sorry, y'all. What was in California? They setting up for something over there. Okay, let's. He said Georgia Constitution. Let's do Georgia Constitution. I know that's in there. I spelled that wrong. Probably have to look at the early Constitution to find that right to bear arms. I'm most sure they probably had it in there and took it out. Bill of Rights. This is Georgia Constitution, Article 1. Here it is. Arms, right to keep and bear. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, but the general assembly shall have power to prescribe in matter which arms may be borne. You have a right to bear arms, but they can prescribe the manner arms may be borne, whatever that means. See, they added that in there. Okay. That's in the Constitution. So whatever this Constitution says, it can do. But I would love to go back and let's see. California Constitution. Let's read the original one. Let's see what the original Constitution is. I'll share the screen in a second. Mm-hmm. I'm scanning, y'all. I don't even see it. Let's see. Let's do arms. All right. You got arms in there. Let's see. Bear. I'm looking at the old Constitution. It never was. I don't see where it says right to bear arms in here. Let's say right to bear. This is the 18 what was it, 1879 Constitution I'm looking at. I'll share with y'all right now, briefly. Um, is that it? This is the original Constitution of the State of California. And if you notice how they have Constitution State of California in all caps, that's a corporation. Is it, so? But I do like this Constitution the way this one is written. That last one, oh, it's convoluted. And see what happens. That's what happens when people don't know that they're rewriting Constitution because they could have put a stop to that, changing up the Constitution. All right, 814. 814. Yeah, they said they trying to check the article. California does have it actually. Which article you talking about? Be article what? Be specific. Toll facts. You said it actually has it. Where at? Which one? There's a bunch of articles there. I'm skimming, so I could have overlooked it. Come on, brother. I'm waiting on you. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I did a control find to find the words, and it didn't come up. Now, even on the last one and in this one, this article link. Where's the link? Put the link in the chat, man. I don't. Based on the Supreme Court. Okay. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind, the federal constitution says you have a right to bear arms. So that's what's important. The federal constitution. So even though California may not have it in there, I'm not saying it isn't. I just couldn't find it. I have to do some see, in order for me to find it, I have to read the whole thing. Then I can say it's not there. Although I did control F to see if I could find it. He said based on the Supreme Court. But is that the Constitution you're reading from or an article? I'm talking about what the Constitution says, because that's the law of the land. But the Supreme Court could have said, yes, you have a right to bear arms based on what the federal Constitution says or the United States Constitution says. Since California is one of those states that sold out and they take benefits from the government, so they are made themselves subordinate to the United States Constitution. So that will supersede that. And I think I was reading that how the state of California is an inseparable part of the American Union, and the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land. So even though it's not in, let me share this. This is important. Even though it's not written that you have the right to bear arms on the state level, it says the state of California is an inseparable part of the American Union, and the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land. That's what it says. So since they say the Constitution supreme law of the land, and that Constitution says you have a right to bear arms, then the Supreme Court would uphold that. If that's the point you were trying to make. Oh, tall facts. Tall Fox. I'm sorry. Tall Fox. Still words. Um, that's probably what you're referring to. Someone probably sued about that, and then the Supreme Court stepped in and said, "Yeah, well, since it's an inseparable part of the American Union, the United States Constitution is supreme law." So if they're saying that in their Constitution, that means whatever law they write, and it's in contradiction to the United States Constitution, that their law becomes null and void. Since they're stating in their Constitution that the United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Supreme law. Do I have to look at the word supreme? Maybe I should. Supreme. Supreme. Let's look it up. In position of unquestioned authority, dominance, or influence, the nation's supreme leader, the Constitution shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. So they're saying any law contrary to the supreme law of the land, which is the United States Constitution, whatever they wrote in that Constitution don't mean a thing. Okay? And there you have it. See, these states try to play sovereign immunity when it benefits them. When they're trying to get all those federal benefits, the government. Then, well, now they got these other things that they're fighting over. No, we're sovereign. We can do this. No, they can't have it both ways. That's Section 8 of the Constitution talks about how they gave up session. They session by session of particular states, meaning they gave up their rights to the government to be sovereign. I haven't done a constitutional lesson in a long time. I feel like back in old hindsight days right now. Okay, we're on the same page. He said what I meant in reference to the supreme law of the land. Okay, cool. We're on the same page. I got you. Well, I'm thank you for bringing it up because that is a very important point. So no matter what constitution I read, most of them say they are insubordinates. They owe the allegiance to the United States Constitution. There you have it. So, all right. All right, tomorrow's show is at 8:00. I might be running a little bit late because I got to meet with some people right before the show. Got to get on a call. I should be, I most likely be on time. So if y'all haven't seen the interview on Fresh Out, the channel that I did, he only played 20 minutes of it. There's a lot more to go. So it's coming. Stay tuned. Go over there, give them a thumbs up on the videos. A lot of people have already watched it. Watched it already. All right. With that being said, you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Peace, prosperity, extreme wealth to all.